Yeah, big night for him. I mean, he would have felt the pressure in his own way. Scores a try, winning performance, and rewarded for very good form at Munster for some time now.
Yeah, and there's a special joy with getting your first Six Nations cap as well. And we saw earlier Crowley speaking about his friends and family, and there's a whole ecosystem around these players as well. And there's nothing. We think we have anxiety before games. There's nothing like the anxiety that your closest family and friends have before a game. So for him to come out on the a winning side in the south of France, maybe beyond expectations, and scoring a try, it's a really lovely story. And he'll grow into that as well. And he's had some great form. I've sort of done some analysis of his performances in Munster over the last while, and he's well worth his place in the team. And Mark Hansen, wherever he comes back, he may come back, but he's this chap now has an opportunity to stake a claim, and having a try gives him a little bit more comfort. He just needs to up his touches. How can he get involved more? It's a really big thing with the wings, and from even back in our day, was the focus was how can he get involved. It's not enough just to stand on the wing and wait for it to come out to you. I'm not saying that's what he did, but it's how many times can you get involved, and how important can you put yourself in the team so other players want to get the ball to you, and have a relationship with the 9, have a relationship with the 10 on the blind side, and then be the link man at the out the back door from one side to the other. Someone like James Lowe, kicking is such a massive part of the game. So what are the other add-ons that you're providing to the team that means they have to pick you?
It could be harder at the minute for someone like Calvin Nash to get in. We see Mark Hansen coming in at first receiver. With Johnny Sexton, he's so established that he can kind of cope with a little bit of disruption. Someone like Jack Crowley's trying to establish that 9-10, where the guys who dictate the pace, the shape, the phase play. Calvin Nash coming in, there's probably less welcome there in a new setup where Jack's trying to establish himself.
But you remember, Sexton for a long period of his career would go bananas if everybody went in first receiver. He couldn't deal with it. That was his place, that was his domain, and was only actually a little bit later when he became more comfortable. And
when we just stopped listening to him.
Maybe it was that, but he would lose it, and Ireland as a result would lose their shape. And because nobody was stepping in and sort of taking that first receiver role and being able to dictate things around. As soon as Sexton was out, was holding the ground, then Ireland were at 6s and 7s, and it wasn't a little bit later that, as Trim said, people stopped listening to him, that or he felt a little bit more relaxed in it, that was allowed to happen.
Yeah, I think the good thing for Nash now after this game is it was only at the start of the week there was a huge amount of chat that Gary Ringrose was going to play in the wing. We didn't have another winger. Did we trust another winger? Now we have another very viable option there on the wing. And whether Mac Hansen in time comes back into the team, Calvin Nash has established himself now as an international right winger that we don't need to have to move our centres away and play them on the wing anymore, which is a big bonus, because it didn't actually bode particularly well for the first game of the Six Nations if we were having to move our centre out onto the wing when we're one of the top rugby countries in the world.
Yeah. And how difficult a thing is it to learn that? I mean, you two have been out there. That what Hansen seems to almost make look so natural and intuitive. Well, I'm just going to saunter in and pop up in midfield. I presume if you're doing that at the wrong times or misreading a situation, it could be very dangerous and really frowned upon. So it's probably easier said than done to just say, you know what, I kind of feel like I'm just going to saunter inside here on a whim.
Yeah, and it's definitely not on a whim. I mean, you have to pick and choose your moments correctly, and if you especially if there's a call in play and you come up through the middle, and you're not wanted, that's a major issue. But it's sort of an imperative to I think to wing play, and was that was the kind of thing that you and I think sort of based our careers on. I wasn't the kind of wing that we could just stay out there and then you give me the ball and I'd finish it every time. I wasn't fast enough. So I think, what else can I contribute here if it's not just being a pure finisher? It's work rate and using your sort of physicality to try and get over the gain line and act almost as another centre, as I saw it. Sometimes you see an outside centre as more of a wing or wing full back, but from my perspective, I was like almost playing as a third centre.
It's definitely somewhere Ireland can go, and they've had it with Mac Hansen, but it's definitely probably a a blind spot at the minute whenever he's not there, because you look at all the best teams. Now, France tonight weren't the best team, but Thomas Ramos does it. You know, Richie Mwanga and Bowden Barrett do it. You know, a first receiver either side stepping up, just taking pressure off. That's important to have that string to your bow. Without Mac Hansen, there's definitely a gap there.